The time being 7:01, I will call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
We have 21 supervisors present. Supervisor Grady and Nordigan are excused.
Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Hearing none, citizens' comments are closed. We will now move on to the presentation of the 2025 Kenosha County budget by Supervisor Gens. Supervisor Gens.
Thank you. I move the resolution. All right, I'm not, wait, I don't move. I'm going to talk and then we'll move it. So first I want to thank staff for putting this budget out. Everybody did a good job putting this budget out, all the way down through the divisions and the department heads, and it really came to us pretty tight and ready to go. There weren't a lot of changes that needed to be made. I thank all the county board members who did come and participate or had any questions. It was really a smooth process, and this to me is really what we as county board supervisors do. This is our main job, the budget, and I think the finance committee, staff, and everybody else did a really good job with it. So I just want to start with that. So the general purpose levy is $77,794,539, which is a 2.52 increase from last year. Over the last 20 years, we've averaged a 2.48 increase in that levy. Taxes on a median priced home, I don't want to do 100,000, we'll do the actual median of 282, is a $2.83 decrease on the taxes. So I think we were fiscally responsible in what we put out. Very, very good job. Equalized value increase of $1.89 billion, with 3% of that in new construction and 5.34 in value increases. So we've all got the notices of our property going up in value. The equalized value 10-year average is at plus 8.14. We've had 11 consecutive years of the mill rate coming down. So these are all, positive financial results of our budgeting process. So overall levy increase of $1.91 million, with expenditure increase of $12.54 million and a revenue increase of $10.63 million. 5.10 full-time equivalent increase, so we didn't bring a lot of staff on. We kept that under control, just what we needed. And really over 3 of those are paid for with non-levy sources and partially funded non-levy sources. So, and we're going to get into the capital budget a little bit here. Capital improvements, $22,185,000, with $33.63 million in capital expenditures. 11.45 is funded with grants and intergovernmental revenue. 10.36 of that is Public Works Highway Division. 7.67% of it is Public Works Facilities. 4.24 is the Highway Division for 13 miles of roads, which we do every year. We've got $2.21 million in parks for capital expenditures, 1.75 in the Gulf Division. $1.58 million of Sheriff's Department capital expenditures, which $930,000 for vehicle replacement. Everybody will be happy to know that there's no trucks in that. $1.4 million for IT and $1.13 million for the Highway Division for capital expenditures on vehicles and equipment. So that summarizes some of the main big ticket items in the bonding and the capital projects. The budget resolution, which I would urge, if you didn't pick up on it this year, you really need to pay attention to the budget resolution. It's very important. That's where policy has changed, et cetera. So it's very important. Notable budget resolution changes include the approval of payment for special assignment wages during special events for sworn supervisors and overtime coverage by staff and corrections. That's like Amazon, Country Thunder, some of those things, they don't need to come to us every year. As long as that's being paid by somebody else, that's just going to be taken care of every year. Approval of Human Services Board member composition restructure. Approval of the Brookside Care Center, LPN, RN position pool flexibility for staff retention. That was important. Suspension of the annual county budget advisory levy objective. Approval of requirement for fiscal notes to accommodate county board supervisors initiated resolutions. That just means everything is going to need a fiscal note when it comes through, because we want to see what the impact, even if it's a zero impact, we want to know what it is. Approval of potential use of reserves toward the Kenosha Sports Fishing and Conservation Association capital project fundraising goal. In conclusion, we had 4 days of hearings, and we approved the county executive's budget with the following amendment, or revision to the health services budget of $98,759 increase in revenues. The Finance and Administration Committee approved 2 initial resolutions, $17.77 million for the 2025 capital projects and $4.56 million for the ceremonial courthouse legacy project. And I have this part on it, says that please read. So I was instructed to make sure I read this to you. On your desk, there is a Finance and Administration 2025 budget adjustment page that summarizes the approved amendments to the county executive proposed budget. Upon approval of the 2025 county budget, an updated and final electronic version will be available on the county's website, and replacement pages will be provided at the next county board meeting for those who have physical copies of the 2025 budget. So they're not going to put it out now, they're going to wait till anything, in case anything changes. So that's, just know that. And if you leave your budget book, if you're old school like me, out, they will replace those pages. So this was presented, adopted unanimously, and amended by the Finance and Administration Committee. Unanimously, I would ask for your support. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Supervisor Morrissey, second by Supervisor Poole. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. I will call the Kenosha County Board organizational meeting to order. Please. We don't have to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, I guess we will just do roll call.
Twenty-one supervisors are present. Supervisors Nordigan and Grady are excused.
Citizens' comments. Are there any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Hearing none, citizens' comments are closed. Announcements of the chairperson. I have a couple announcements to make. The first being, I wanted to take a moment to express my sincere and heartfelt gratitude for the tireless efforts and professionalism to Madam Clerk Reggie, Amanda, Elizabeth, and Julia. Your team has demonstrated professionalism not only throughout this election, but through every election. As always, your work in administering the elections is critical, and this year has presented no shortage of challenges. Yet, despite these obstacles, you have continued to uphold the highest standards of excellence. The long hours, the complex logistics, the meticulous attention to detail, and the countless behind-the-scenes tasks you've managed have not gone unnoticed. Every step of the process, from voter registration to ensuring ballots are counted fairly and accurately, requires extraordinary level of precision, coordination, and resilience. You have constantly met these demands, ensuring that the democratic process operates smoothly and with the utmost integrity. I recognize the stress that comes with overseeing such a vital responsibility, especially during periods of heightened scrutiny and public attention. Yet, throughout your professionalism and unwavering commitment to fairness have been evident. Your ability to navigate these challenges with grace and dedication reflects the very best of public service. Please extend my heartfelt gratitude to your entire team, as I know that success is always a collaborative effort. The work you all do is not only essential, but is also deeply appreciated by the entire community. Thanks to your dedication, the electorate can have confidence that the process is secure, transparent, and fair. Once again, thank you for your hard work, your leadership, and for your service to our community. The vital role you play in our democracy is more important than ever, and we are fortunate to have such dedicated public servants working to ensure that our elections remain both fair and free. So thank you.
Thank you. I would just like to, I appreciate the recognition. I couldn't do it without my staff. Most of you, if you know the staff from my office, you know they're pretty awesome. So I could not be able to keep doing this kind of work without them. The other thing I would like to do is give a shout out to the municipal clerks throughout Kenosha County. And we have become, in the last 4 or 5 years, we have become such a team working together, and that is the key to our success, to seeing things like last night where the city had their results in by 10 o'clock. That's amazing. So that we really stand out as a county when it comes to reporting our election results. So I would like to commend the municipal clerks for doing a great job too. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. My other announcement is about our annual holiday dinner. We will be having a holiday dinner on the third Tuesday in December, which will be December 17th. It will start at 6 p.m. Look for an email from the clerk's office with more details to come, but that should be coming out soon. So mark your calendars. I know calendars are getting busy with holiday things coming up. It's only a month and a half away. So I just wanted to put that out there. And that is all I have for comments. Moving on to supervisor reports. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to let the board know that this past Saturday, November 2nd, the county executive and I went down to Chicago to the 66th Annual Chicago Midwest Emmy Awards. Our video that we partnered with Uniquely Wisconsin with, entitled Field of Dreams, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League 80th Reunion. That video was nominated for an Emmy Award. Yes, there are Emmys in Chicago, and for smaller, more like news stations and news clips, and this was in the nostalgia category. And our award actually won an Emmy Award for that evening. The county executive and I had a great time there with the staff of Uniquely Wisconsin, and they're the ones that actually won the award because they're the producers and the creators of it. We did partner with them and created 3 videos as a economic development tool to bring businesses to the county. I would also like to thank Supervisor Balsky and former Supervisors Zach Stock and Zach Rodriguez. They were on that committee along with
Joe Patente and other staff members, where we collaborated and came up with the ideas. And the 3 finished projects I thought were wonderful, especially the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League 80th reunion video. And if you have a chance to watch or want to watch them, you can either find them on a link to them on our county website, or you can go to the Uniquely Wisconsin website and view them. They're a lot of fun for Kenosha. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Any further supervisor reports? Seeing none, supervisor reports are closed.
Old business, ordinance 13, second reading. From the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding an amendment to the text of the Kenosha County General Zoning and Shoreline Floodplain Zoning Ordinance for the addition of battery energy storage systems as a conditional use permit. This passed unanimously at committee. Supervisor Meadows was excused.
Supervisor Brown.
Move ordinance 13.
Moved by Supervisor Brown, second by Supervisor Brookhouse. Supervisor Brown.
Well, so we worked quite a while on this. There was a 6-month moratorium, and then we spent a lot of effort making sure that it worked out for the best interests of the county, so I would ask for your support.
Okay, discussion on this ordinance. Supervisor Morrissey.
I'd like to make an amendment, or 2 amendments to the ordinance. First one is on page 10, under LB. After the word equipment on the first line, I would like to add by the party responsible for performance obligations, developer, owner, and/or operator. And the second amendment would be on page 11, under MA. I would like to add a sentence after the first one that says, "The site is to be restored to its pre-construction condition to the maximum extent possible within 12 months of ceasing operations." And if I get a second, I'll explain why.
Motion by Supervisor Gerstin. Supervisor Morrissey.
So I think in reading this, both of these ordinance parts deal with conditional use permits. So if you have 5 megawatts or more, then you need a conditional use permit. For the smaller one, I don't think we need the cleanup of 12 months in there, but I think these amendments are consistent with the utility scale provisions of this ordinance for the conditional use permit, and I think they should apply to the conditional use permits for the on-site battery energy storage systems of 5 megawatts or more. I think this makes it a much stronger ordinance, and it's my understanding that this is probably the template that's going to be used throughout the state for these, so I would ask for support of those 2 amendments. Thank you.
Discussion on the amendments. Supervisor Stocker?
My comment is on the resolution, not the motion.
Okay. Supervisor Decker?
One question on the amendment, and I don't know if this is to Supervisor Morrissey or Andy Bueller. The second part of the amendment that states the site is to be restored to its pre-construction condition to the maximum extent possible within 12 months of ceasing operations. Is the pre-construction condition what we're always aiming for in a reclamation plan?
Andy, would you please come up?
Kenosha County. I think from that standpoint, as we're looking at is whatever the condition was before. In this case, this is for an on-site battery energy storage system. And so whatever the site was before that, we'd look for that to be put back to that. We're thinking in most cases, this hasn't happened yet, so we're kind of trying to be proactive on what may be happening, is that there'd be a concrete pad and that, or a stone pad area that one of these facilities would be put on. And then it would just be the removal of that container which contains all the battery energy storage from the property.
So is there actually a decommission, or a reclamation or deconditioning plan that has to be developed? Because it says in B that it must be developed.
Right, so there is a decommissioning plan, so, that they would submit to us to explain when they get to this point to needing to remove it from the property, how they would do it.
And is the plan something that we as a county have to approve or okay?
It
Or
would be part of
can
their,
they-
it would be part of their submittal
Okay.
for the conditional use permit, yeah, so it would be before us. And so really what the change here is just that instead of it being removed, basically at the accordance of the business, there's a time limit for it to be removed in 12 months. That's really the change that's being added.
Well, but it also is adding that it has to be in its pre-construction condition to the maximum extent possible.
Correct.
So it's not just the timeline, it's saying it has to be restored to pre-construction condition. What would happen if we're expecting these to be in place, what, 20, 30 years?
You know how many years, what are you thinking? 20? Yeah, right now, the lifespan is thought to be about 20 years.
Okay, so in 20 years, over 20 years, let's say, and I'm just imagining the site in Wheatland, in 20 years, let's say that area is developed and the people owning the battery storage system, the BESS, wants to sell it to a developer, then they would have to restore it to pre-construction condition before they can sell it to the developer, and then the developer would just have to destroy what they reconstructed?
That would be, in a sense, true, but in this case, this is not dealing with the utility scale like that. This would be dealing with more of like an existing business. So for instance, like a Walmart wants to have one of these on their property to provide a energy battery backup to their needs. But that area you're talking about, that's already in there. That's not a change.
Okay, so this is only applying to the small-scale one?
Correct. This is for on-site
Okay.
over 5 megawatts.
On-site, over 5 megawatts, but under what?
Well, it'd be under 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess, is the clarification in B, by the party responsible for performance obligations, developer, owner, and/or operator, does that allow for them to hire an outside contractor to do that? The routine maintenance, by the way it's worded?
It would, right, yeah. So that language, is this a carryover? It's
Okay.
the same language that's in the utility scale section, and the request amendment is just to add that same language in this section.
Okay, but it does allow them to sublet it?
It would, yeah, just trying to cover all bases. It's being more descriptive.
Okay, all right, just verifying, thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Any further discussion on the amendments as presented? Seeing none, all in favor of the amendments? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendments carry. Now we will vote on ordinance 13 as amended. All in favor? Roll call has been requested. If you are... Supervisor Stocker.
I just think it's important that we all know that these batteries will catch fire. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I think that's information we should all have. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Stocker. Any other comments from supervisors? Roll call has been requested. If you are in favor, vote yes. If you're against, vote no.
Ordinance 13 passes unanimously. Ordinance 14, second reading, from the Finance and Administration Committee, an ordinance amending Municipal Code, Kenosha County. 3.63, granting a former owner the right to repurchase property taken by tax deed. This passed unanimously at committee.
Supervisor Gens.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move the ordinance.
Moved by Supervisor Gens, second by Supervisor Nudo. Supervisor Gens.
Thank you. We were required to do this. 2023 Wisconsin Act 207, Section 7 of Act 207 requires counties with respect to single-family owner-occupied properties to have an ordinance in place or resolution that gives former owners, their beneficiaries, or their heirs the right to repurchase tax-foreclosed properties. So this was a while in the making. We had to work on the different logistics behind this. I did have this put on your desks so you could see the full-blown write-up of what this was. But basically, we were told we had to do this, and this is what was brought to us and passed unanimously. So I ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. Any discussion on Ordinance 14? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ordinance passes unanimously.
Claims 25, Spectrum Charter, 152981, property damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
The approval of the October 15th, 2024 minutes by Supervisor Morrissey.
Supervisor Morrissey.
I move to approve the minutes.
Moved by Supervisor Morrissey, second by Supervisor Gens. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Minutes pass unanimously. Motion by Supervisor Decker to adjourn Sendai, second by Supervisor Stocker. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned Sendai. We will now have roll call of the County Board Annual Meeting. Supervisors, please indicate that you are here.
There are 21 supervisors present. Supervisors Nordigan and Grady are excused.
Citizens' comments, moving on there. Are there any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Any citizens wishing to speak? Hearing none, citizens' comments are closed. Announcements of the chairperson, I have none. Supervisor reports. Are there any supervisors wanting to give a report? Seeing none, supervisor reports are closed. New business.
New business, policy resolution, the first reading, 2 are required. Policy resolution 2 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a policy resolution 2025 Kenosha County budget. Communications, 47, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to accept grant funds offered through the State of Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Enforcement and Finance Administration Committee.
48, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to accept grant funds from the Wisconsin Department of Human Services.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Enforcement and Finance Administration Committee.
49, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to approve the 2024 We Energies Foundation Grant Fire Investigation Task Force.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Enforcement and Finance Administration Committee.
50, communication from Judiciary and Law Enforcement Committee, a resolution to approve for the year 2024 Law Enforcement Justice Assistant Grant Award.
Refer to Judiciary and Law Enforcement and Finance Administration Committee.
51, communication from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, professional services agreement between Kenosha County and the Village of Summers.
Refer to Planning, Development, and Extension Education and Finance Administration Committee.
52, communication from the Public Works Facilities Committee, a resolution to approve an IGA between Kenosha County and the Village of Twin Lakes.
Refer to Public Works and Facilities.
53, communication from Public Works and Facilities Committee, a request for approval of plat and relocation order for County Trunk Highway W and authorization to acquire right-of-way.
Refer to Public Works and Facilities and Finance Administration Committee.
54, communication from Public Works and Facilities Committee, a resolution to approve purchase of property for County Trunk Highway WG Dutch Gap Canal Bridge replacement.
Refer to Public Works and Facilities and Finance Administration Committee.
55, communication from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
Received and filed.
56, communication from Andy M. Bueller, an ordinance extending temporary moratorium on the consideration and/or issuance of zoning permits, building permits, conditional use permits, and zoning approvals for battery energy storage systems, pending enactment of zoning ordinance to address these systems and protect the public health, safety, and welfare of Kenosha County residents.
Refer to Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee.
57, communication from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution to repurpose ARPA funds.
Refer to Finance Administration Committee. Motion by Supervisor Decker, second by Supervisor Meadows. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.